Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. All right. So, listening to everybody talking about the Lakers as I always do. Of course, the game's at 7 o'clock, so I want to make sure I start with that since I forgot to tell you guys what time the game started. The last one. Well, honestly, I'm wondering how much effort we're going to see. And effort isn't the word. I would think probably playing time for our stars versus Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and all those guys who are going to be playing 40 minutes, 48 minutes likely to go all out to save themselves, right? Which ultimately works in our favor when considering it's one game's rest in between. They're going to have to do that for the rest of the series. Now, the problem is, does it make sense for us to match it in regards to playing our stars that in that same way? Well, here's the thing the Lakers have to understand about themselves going into this basketball game. That's not necessarily how you win every night. You don't go in with a preconceived notion about who's going to score. That's not how we operate. Some nights we have to accept the fact that Anthony Davis is only going to score 15 points. So within the game, certain guys are going to have to be more aggressive as they see who else is doing what. We're a team that works by committee. We're a strong team by the sum of our parts, as I always say. So if we're going to beat this team tonight, we're going to do it the same way we've been doing it. It's going to be everybody coming together collectively to play team defense and get out in transition and run. Keep them out of our paint. Do a much better job of keeping them off the offensive glass tonight. And that's really how we beat the Golden State Warriors in this game. I understand that the odds makers have us as a -7. If that's how you say that, I don't know. But that is what it is based on the minutes that are expected to go to those players. So I have a much greater understanding of how that works now. Didn't really understand it beforehand, but that's how they base it on. It's like, okay, it's likely he's going to be on the floor for 40 minutes. He being Steph, 45 minutes or what have you to save his season. So that means that the Lakers are going to have a harder time trying to stop the Golden State Warriors based on that. And then therefore, you're likely to see the Lakers get cooked by him all night long. But see, he was 3 for 14 in the last game. I don't know what type of rest he was able to get in just a small amount of time. And so I don't know that his leg's going to be there for all of this that they're asking him to do. It's barely game 5, and he's a highly conditioned athlete. But these are really, really strenuous schedules that he's been dealing with based on the Sacramento going 7 and then this one going as far as 5 thus far with no rest in between games. So I don't know. Everybody's of the mindset that the Lakers just automatically going to lose this game based on the fact that we're going to take our foot off the gas and then, of course, allow for the Golden State Warriors to run their stars at home, as to which their role players are probably going to hit shots, and then from there we would just roll over and just take this thing back home, as to which we would play all our stars versus all their stars with less rest, and then from there blow them out. So that seems like a strategy the Lakers might actually try to take, and they benefit from having game 6 be at their house. But I think that, there's risk either way, because if you have AD go all in, play 48 minutes, and we still lose, then we got to turn around and have less rest in game 6. So I understand the mindset. I think at the end of the day, we want to play less basketball, period. And my mindset is, if we can get out of this series, sooner we can get into the next one. Now, that doesn't mean we have to run our guys into the ground. But as far as us reducing their minutes based on rest, depends on how the game is going. I think that should be something that we keep an open mind about as the game progresses. If we have a lead, of course, we can manage it accordingly. If we're down, no, them guys got to stay on the floor. So that's kind of how we got to play it for the rest of the playoffs anyway. We can get our scoring everywhere, but everything is centered around Anthony Davis defensively, because there's no way to simulate that length without Mo Bamba, and we don't use him. Plus, he's hurt, and that's a bad combination, as you would always consider. So I don't know, man. I don't know. My expectations for this basketball game is that the Lakers go out there and play hard. I had us initially winning it in 6. And now I have a better understanding why everybody else would consider 6 so important based on the expectancy of minutes. So it's just like a little thing that I can now take with me going forward in regards to how to assess these series. Because at the end of the day, sometimes this really is kind of how it goes based on how the schedule goes. And when you only have one day's rest in between games, as I said at the beginning of the series, you're kind of expected to see certain types of blowouts to buy rest. So if that theory is to carry forth, then of course we're getting blown out tonight. You know what I mean? Because we're still going to do this. But the problem is, you don't want to play extra basketball with Steph Curry. You don't expect that everything will just fall into place for you. And if you have an opportunity to compete for this basketball game, for the win, then of course you try to win the basketball game and play less basketball and try to shut them down on the road. So, I think common sense in every facet really does tell you that we're not expected to win. But I'm telling us to go out there and have intentions of beating them regardless of who they have out there. And we can win this basketball game without overrunning our stars against their stars by, as I always say, hunting people in foul trouble, hunting them and to get them in foul trouble, and try to put them in a position to have to play a little bashful out there defensively. The people who hurt us the most defensively have to be in foul trouble. Don't worry about Steph Curry and shooting and all of that. He's going to be great regardless. They're going to leave him on the floor regardless. But guys like Kevon Looney, if they try to go with a guy like, Kuminga, since I've been hearing a lot about them, thinking about trying to use him tonight, so we need to be ready for his velocity and be prepared to guard accordingly. Various bigs that they may use, we want them in foul trouble. All the people who are getting all the defensive rebounds, they need to be in foul trouble. And for goodness sakes, can we keep Steph Curry off the glass? That is the one thing that I've neglected to say that I'm glad I'm thinking of now. He's rebounded specifically too much and getting him out in their break. And we know how he can shoot off the dribble, shoot off or whatever. And even though he's been cold, that is not something you can count on. We know what he can do, obviously. So, look, he's fighting for his playoff life, but he's been fighting for his playoff life since the midway through the end of the season. So we know how that goes. We've been doing it too. And the intensity necessary to win this game is the same thing as it always is. We should be excited about the opportunity to overpower a team that we have a schematic advantage against, I feel. However, they are finding ways to get around those advantages, and they've had a look at us 4 times, and that concerns me when you're considering us a team like this. So that's another reason why we need to get rid of them, because they are getting multiple looks at us, and they're studying, and they're going to implement some really tricky stuff. They're likely going to get some things going in their direction. Now, one thing we want to watch out for tonight is foul calls. Same thing we always got to guard against, other things we got to guard against tonight. You do not want to get into a back and forth with the referees tonight. Keep the latency of the play. Be intellectually competitive in your nature tonight. Whether you plan on winning or not, you do not want to find yourself in a situation where guys are suspended for Game 6. That's another reason why you want to get the heck out of this series, because you don't want to play around with possibilities that are outside of your control. So I think the Lakers should really consider what Game 5's win would mean for them overall in eliminating bad possibilities. You just want to play less basketball. Less basketball is best basketball for this team. I really believe that. Although I completely understand why they may not compete tonight. And I'll be upset about it, but I'm already bracing myself for it right now. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. You should probably brace yourself for disappointment tonight, because Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, they're going to shoot better. Wiggins is going to shoot better. They're going to hit shots. It's going to frustrate us. But at the end of the day, if we can have some of our carryover from the previous matchup, and the support that Lonnie Walker's been getting, if we can kind of rally around that, I think we got a very, very good chance of continuing to beat this team. If we're getting out of transition, I like us. If we're getting stops and multiple blocks, I like us. If we're hitting free throws like we did in the last game, I definitely like us. 20 out of 20, that can do good things for us. And you know what? We want to control the pace too. We don't want Steph Curry having too many attempts. Them running around and getting all his screens off and them getting a chance to run whatever the heck it is that they've been working on. We want to limit that. So let's try to control the pace and make it what we want to do, and limit the stand-around offense, half-court nonsense. You know what I mean? There are other ways for us to score, so let's try to get into some things that involve a lot more motion tonight. Anthony Davis getting his spots and stuff like that. I saw that down the stretch of the basketball game, we had him standing in the corner. The plays worked. I'm not complaining as long as they work. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do want him to sag off on defense so we can run other things. On offense, so we can run other things and energy on the defense if side of the ball. So I don't think there's nothing to really complain about if the team is turning the ball over less than the Golden State Warriors, who obviously are going to turn the ball over some, but will make up for it rebounding the ball in the offensive end. So we have got to make sure that we clean that up. And if we do, if we can crash the glass and destroy them on the glass, I think we'll be fine. But if we try the little small lineups and stuff like that, we leave the door open, we'll know what the Lakers' strategy really is. If we see the wrong lineups on the floor, we'll know. We'll know. But we'll root for the team to win, man. These are the playoffs. This is the second round. We're close to a championship. So the urgency to strategize our way out of this series with a win should be the only thing on our mind. Now, I don't know what they'll choose, but I'm telling you, if we're not strategizing a way to absolutely exit this series as a victor, it's going to be a lot of good undone, man. People are going to be looking at it as a good season. Don't get it twisted, but man, will the opportunity have passed us by, and we know how fleeting championship moments can be. So let that be in our mindset when we enter this game tonight. Obviously, we're in uncharted territory. That's their house. They're going to be ready. They're going to be screaming. They're going to be hollering. They're going to be doing all the things that they do to make themselves feel at home. So we just got to override the noise and just play with our heads on straight, and stay healthy. Stay healthy and don't take too many chances out there. So that's where my head is, man. It's game 5. Wow, game 5 of the second round. Can you believe it? The Los Angeles Lakers have made it this far. And now we have an opportunity, a real opportunity, to close the NBA champions out. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's definitely a beautiful feeling, and it's a good day to be a Laker fan. Hopefully they go out there and make us proud, put up a good effort, and we'll be rooting them along. Of course, I have something for you at the end of the game, as always, and at halftime, as always. Nothing changes in that way. And I appreciate everybody rocking with BDL 44. And I'm out.